So a video to talk about possibly a video I want to do this week. And just as I talk, I'm just having an open source from Working Dog. I've spoken about this wine before. The co-op in New Jersey gets together. They put all their Chardonnay together and then they split it up and vinify it however they want. I think Working Dog does a really great job with it, but I've spoken about this wine many times. This isn't really about that. Waiting for some sushi to come along to pair this with. This absolutely smells like Chardonnay, but then I just like the oak treatment, the acidity, the richness and butteriness, but also that it's got acidity, restraint, citrus fruits, and just has just a good wine. And I think they do a good job with it. This pendulum has swung from the once super oaky Chardonnays to now a lot more restraint, but Chardonnay does show well with oak, and it does work with oak. I know a lot of people just doing no oak and unoaked, and they do make a good unoaked, but I don't mind oak with some Chard. I think it works as long as it's done tactfully and in smaller doses. It's a good one, and it'll pair well with the sushi. I'm getting this week West Coast uni sea urchin, and I've had West Coast, so there's uni from West Coast, East Coast, and then there's South America. I'm sure there's other places too. Supposedly from Santa Barbara Island out on the West Coast, that is the best. And I even watched a documentary recently from Som TV, ironically called Delicacy, and they go talking about this thing from a clam that was sort of the top of the restaurant type of thing. Now I'm always forgetting the damn name of it, but uni has now sort of replaced it. I don't even know if you can still fish for that. And of course, the name's eluding me. Doesn't really matter as much, but if I remember, bring it up in another video. Abalone. It was abalone. So, I don't know if there's an abalone fishery anymore. Certainly there's a uni fishery, and it's where it used to be more international. They'd export 90% of it. Now 90% stays within the United States to be used by any number of chefs, restaurants. I've loved it for over 20 years. I just like it plain. I don't need anything on it. I just like the taste of it. It tastes like the ocean. It has a very unique creaminess to it. I just think it's awesome. I think it absolutely pairs awesome with certain wines, and I want to pair it with a number of different wines, so I'm getting a decent amount of it. 100 grams of it, but still, it's enough uni that it can go a long way. And I want to try it with a few different wines. I saw them do this on Som TV, or actually something subsequent to Som TV. They did a few extras, and one of them was somebody tasting it with various different wines. It made me think, oh, I'd love to do that. I think that would be a great idea, just to see how the wine complements the uni. I absolutely want to do it with a sparkling, which one I don't know. I absolutely want to possibly do it with that Chateau Chalon, the Vin Jaune, that yellow wine. It's called yellow wine. It's a little funky. I want to do it with something that's got salinity, and flintiness. So I'd love to do it with a Chablis. I think a Chablis would work really well for the flintiness and bone dry aspect of it for the Chardonnay. I don't want a big unctuous Chardonnay. I think something that's got like a brininess, saltiness to the wine. I got to think about that. So anywhere from 4 to 5. I might even use the Coravin to just go through it. I may even do that tasting on camera, something I've not really done before. I think it would be, well, maybe interesting, at least to me. I gotta think of a number of other wines, but I think it would be pretty cool. Plus, it is one of my favorite foods, and now it's becoming very, very expensive, much more difficult to find. My local sushi place rarely has it. I'm pretty sure he gets the East Coast one, and that's still very difficult to find. I go to another sushi place, and I'm pretty darn sure that's the first time I had West Coast, and that's where I used to get it. And I haven't been there in a bit, but I'd ask the owner, the chef, just West Coast, East Coast, where are you getting this, where are you sourcing this uni from? So that's all I really wanted to talk about as I'm waiting for my sushi, and the uni comes sometime this week. So I get excited for things like that, foods that are delicacies and tantalize the taste buds. Had Turdo Sangiovese last night with my meatballs, and God, that wine is so good. So this winery down in Cape May called Turdo makes one of the best Sangioveses I've ever really had. It really is awesome. It's $37, but second time I've had it, it's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I can't say enough about it. Victor Nebbiolo comes out in the fall. Really tempted to take like a day trip and just go down there. Or just an overnight, one night, just visit the wineries, do dinner, and come back. Specifically to go to Turdo. I'd like to go to Hawk Haven and taste some other stuff too. The one winery didn't hit when we were down there. What else have I had recently? I opened up a Southern Rhone, Côte de Rhone Village, and it was excellent. Genesee, Chateau, Domaine Genesee, whatever it was. So Grenache Syrah Mourvedre, most likely. Really great wine. Had it after the Sangiovese. Different, of course, but Sangiovese being extremely food friendly, amazing with red sauce, and those meatballs just, God, it was awesome. I really, really want more of that Sangio. How they're making Sangiovese that way, I really wonder if they're mixed or blending it with anything. In Chianti, you can blend it. You can blend Sangiovese with other grapes, and typically they're doing those Bordeaux varietals, Merlot, Cab, to add a little bit more body and kind of artificially, that's not artificial because it's all within the rules and the guidelines, but they're giving it some, maybe, I want to call it artificial depth because it's not an indigenous Italian grape. I just want 100% Sangiovese. I just think that's awesome. There's a wine called Ciparello that's not Chianti, not Brunello. I'm pretty sure it's 100% Sangiovese, and I think it's $80-$90, but it's amazing. Probably the best pure Sangiovese that I know of that I've had. I mean, I've had some amazing Brunellos too, but that wine really was something special for $80-$90, but something special. I know Princeton Corkscrew has it, and I keep looking at it, and I haven't bought it, but debating it. What else? What else have I tried lately? Nothing I can really think of. So, Open Source Shard's good. Uni's on its way. Turdo Sangiovese is awesome. So definitely explore wines locally. I will no longer poo-poo anything local. I really want to get up to the Finger Lakes and try some of those Rieslings, those bracing acidic whites that they talk about up in the Finger Lakes. Get there one day, for sure. But hey, there's some wines to be found in New Jersey, especially in the Cape May County. Good stuff. And I do like Working Dog. There's some other ones. There's some in Pennsylvania that I most definitely want to visit. I really want to get the Nebbiolo that Turdo makes and really see how that compares to, Barolo Barbaresco. I had a Nebbiolo, God, what was it, a week or so ago? Man, it was a Barolo, so good. It was so good. Just food friendly, that acidity, all that, just so much goodness in a Nebbiolo made right out of Barolo Barbaresco. Called it once that if I had to drink one wine ever for the rest of my life, it'd be Piedmont Barolo Barbaresco. Just because how versatile it can be with food, drink it on its own, you have it with cheese. Not super heavy, but absolutely has that tannin structure to make you think you're drinking a bolder wine because of the tannin. The Nebbiolo grape has a high tannin, but a high acid, so it makes it super food friendly. Really can't drink Cabernet out of Napa with everything. So, we're waiting to see if I get on. So I'm on the Scarecrow, Napa, Holt Cab, Rutherford's Scarecrow wine list for a number of years. Last year, I thought I made it through. I put an order in, and then based on supply, I didn't get through. I'd still like to try one of those, Rutherford being my favorite AVA in Napa, and I really want to try it at least once and just see what is the hype about these big, giant Colt Napa cabs. And I've had a few of them, Cardinal, Lacoya, some other ones. They're all great. There's nothing wrong with them. They're all fantastic. They're in the $350 to $500 range. In a blind taste, that's what I tell them, more classier than a 50, 100. Maybe, just because they just have a different taste and they're furrier, meaning more tannin. They do need a little bit more time to develop. So, but you know, Chapelet to me is awesome. Frog's Leap's awesome in a different way, more of a restrained style. You know, I think Chapelet opened for a few hours. The Monte Rosso Louis Martini, that vineyard, that wine is unbelievably tremendous. I think it also tastes a little bit different than Norm. I had the Lark Mead, which I really dug. I don't know if it was as great as its reputation, but it was really good. But it's, you know, near $100 for that one. Looking on my wines right here, there's a certain Italian style in Valtellina called Sforzato, and it's between, they're using Nebbiolo but then drying it like they do Amarone, and I did a video on it, and that wine was amazing, $80, but amazing. And I have none of those left. I want to get another. I need to go to Laurenti in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, has the greatest selection of Italian wines on their website to order, and then it takes a few days. I think they have them in a warehouse or they get it. So sushi just got here, so hence the pause. This video's been all over the place. Sometimes you just do that, a little bit of introspective, a little reflection, wines you want to try, things you want to do, things you want to share. You know, wine and food is an extreme passion of mine, and it's just interesting and fun and exploratory. As much as travel would be the top thing on my list to do, I feel like I could drink a glass of wine from Piedmont or Tuscany. I'm not there, but I could pretend I'm there and say this wine was made from that place, and it just gives you that temporary satisfaction of knowing that this came from that region. So, travel in a glass, maybe. Somehow a video about nothing has turned into 12 and a half minutes, and I was talking about this Sforzato just being something unbelievably good. So, you know, I think if I just had to drink, I said Piedmont for one type of wine for the rest of my life, but how about just one country? And now it'd be interesting. Now that could take me to either France or Italy, bar none. Spain's in the conversation. United States is in the conversation, but no way they compete with Italy and France to me. And I think because of just the variety in Italy, and now you can get a Bordeaux, so what they call Bulgari or they call Super Tuscans could be anything. And typically the best ones, Sassicaia, some like that, are just the Bordeaux varietals made in Italy. So I can still get those and call it, you know, Italian Bordeaux, and get those grapes, but also take advantage of getting all these other indigenous Italian grapes. There's no Nebbiolo in France. There's some in well, the one in New Jersey, but there's some in California too, but nothing is like the ones in Italy that I'm aware of. Although the Sangiovese, Adatturdo, and Cape May, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I would never know in a million years it was not from Italy. Just wouldn't. Yeah. I want to know what their composition is, and when I go to Turdo, I'm going to ask them what their Sangiovese composition is, and if they're following the Tuscany rules about aging. Because what I have was a 2018, which I think the 17s are out right now, so maybe they don't have to follow them. Obviously, they're not in Tuscany. It's not a Chianti, not a Chianti Classico, not a Chianti Classico Reserve. It's just Sangiovese out of New Jersey. So all over the place tonight. Gonna go have my sushi and enjoy some of this open source and see what the rest of the week brings, and then that Uni wine tasting at some point this week. Have a good night.